standard A-line setup. Open the kit. First thing I do is when I open the kit is the transducer right here. These things are loose. If you don't tighten these, then you're going to contaminate it, and then you've got to start over again. So make sure you tighten here. And I take this stopcock and I turn it off, kind of opposite the blue rubber thing. I get rid of all these papers, and this thing here is looped twice, so I just unloop it. So, okay, and then I'm going to do a little, kind of just a little memory, take memory out and do a little stretch. Okay, and then the other thing is this vamp thing. This is the blood saving thing. I just push, you'll hear a click, and that locks it in place. So now we're just going to connect the tubing on the end. The reason why we use this is because if they have trouble, many times they have trouble getting an A-line on the left, and then they'll go to the right, and this gives us extra length. And I've seen an A-line get ripped out because they didn't have this and they were moving the patient, they positioned the patient. So this is always really good to have on this particular setup. Okay, so then we're going to spike the bag, sterile technique. Okay, and then I got a 500cc pressure bag. I like to stick my hand through, grab it like so, and then I'm going to increase the pressure here. You're going to see green, so you want to keep squeezing to see green. A lot of people, when they're spiking a regular IV bag, they like to clamp down the clamp. Well, you don't want to do that for an A-line kit. A-line startup set, because you're just going to flush the fluid through. So then I close it off, and I just like to get the chamber filled up. So it's under pressure now, so this is going to, we don't have a sink, we're just going to do this in this towel here. A lot of water, a lot of fluid going through. Okay, and then we're going to cap it off with this white thing. This is a piece that people tend to forget, but it's a cap that will cap there. That's cannulated, so that's when you can flush it through. But you're going to take this cap off, and then we're going to cap it, just like so. You don't want to crank it down, because then the anesthesia will have a hard time taking it off. You have to use it just finger tight. Then you close off that way, and then you're going to flush the rest of the line out. So, and I'm just going to take the end of this. Normally I would do this in a sink, but so you want to make sure there's a lot of air bubbles in here. A lot of people flush it and they stop. One of the mistakes I see, it's a common mistake, is that they just see the water go through and they're done. But if you notice, I keep flushing. There's a lot of air bubbles that come through here. You don't want to have air in the line, because if it goes into an artery and you introduce air, that's no good. That's a dangerous thing. So, all right. So once it's flushed through, I kind of just do a little drip. It's all the way to the end. Last thing we're going to use is the end cap, which right here. Okay. So then I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to replace it with the white cap part, so then it won't drip everywhere. Then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to label this. When I spiked it, it's 1:15. My initials, military time, 1:15. Today's date is the 27th, 25. Then I take the whole thing and I just put it around the tubing like so. And from here, if you bring it to the room, they've got a clip. You can just set this and you can hang it on here, ready to go. If you go into the room and you want to put it on this clip, you slide through, clip it like that, and it should be level the heart. So I kind of just guesstimate. They can always adjust it. And then there's a pressure tubing, the gray pressure tubing here, connected to this right there. And then you would connect in here like so, and you can, there's our arterial line. So then I'm going to, if you want to pan down here, I'm going to open it to atmosphere. So I'm going to take the cap off, making sure I don't contaminate it. I turned it off going up. Gonna hit 0. Then 0, and then it's gonna give you a message 0 completed. And then we're done. Then I'm just going to cap it, close it back off, and then just stand by. And that's your setup for a regular A-line setup. Like I said, if you don't want to do this part, you don't have to. You can just set this part up, and you can just hang it like so. You can bring it into the room, and they can do that. You know, it just depends on what the situation is. If it's an emergency and you're helping out, that would help if you can actually get it on here and get it 0. So, but for the most part, it's not. Don't worry about it. Just hang it on the line. That's it.